You can hear me though, right?
Perfect.
Yeah, there we go. We're
Yeah,
recording.
okay, okay.
Perfect. Yeah, we can hear
Uh,
you great, man. Like, bro,
Perfect.
I greatly appreciate this because we both been listening to you since high school.
Oh
Like,
wow,
no
that's
bullshit. We
I
both
really
been listening
appreciate
to you
that.
since high school, man. Like, it's so like it's real to have you on here. But
Thank you.
how I was able to get connected with you, I actually, found your actual social media profile is my good friend Young Ill, who you happen to send beats
Right.
to, and I'm
Hmm.
like, because I remember he texted me one day. He was like, "Bro, guess who just sent me beats?" And he sent me a screenshot. I was like, "Oh shit!"
And that's huge for something as small as Charlotte, North Carolina, where we are at.
Oh, facts, and that's one
I
thing I've.
mean, I'm in Bremen, Germany, so I know about being in small places. Like, but
Right.
I didn't want to interrupt you though. Sorry.
No, you're fine. No, you're fine.
Uh,
One thing I've been noticing lately is you've been working a lot with like a lot of underground artists, heavy. Like
yeah,
you've been.
I did start that in like I'd say 2016 maybe, and that's just because like okay, so I started get like basically like when the whole basically like internet underground wave started. What would you say? Maybe when was it? Like maybe 2010 or something, 2011,
Yeah, because that's when
or
the mixtape
maybe even
era
earlier.
started to maybe pop off. You know what I mean? The
Exactly.
mixtape era.
Where everybody
It
was
kind of stopped, right?
self-promoting.
Yeah, that's where it
Yeah,
kind of started,
exactly.
and then it kind of launched in the SoundCloud and stuff like that.
Exactly. And when I came into the game, my introduction to the game on a slightly bigger scale was 2013 or so. And so probably up until 2014, maybe 2015, I was not hip to, like, let's just say I didn't even know who, I don't know, let's just say Suicide Boys or whoever. Like I wasn't hip to the underground like at all. I still was listening to mixtapes and stuff. And so I was super late to all that. And so I basically started working with quote unquote underground people more in 2016 just because I just got hip to it basically. So and I remember like in 2014 or so, I've had all these beats and I couldn't get them, anywhere because like I was trying to get them to songwriters in LA and stuff like, which is a little more on the, a little more mainstream orientated. And so the stuff I had was, pretty uncompromised, right? It was pretty aggressive and stuff.
Right.
And so I had limited, resources to really get my stuff out there. And so I just didn't know the sources basically back then. So that's why I started so late. If I would have been hip earlier, like I would have started right away. Like I was so it was so amazing. Like it was like a whole new world open to me. Like when I
Yeah.
discovered that whole stuff.
And
So
that's
yeah.
huge. Even from an artist standpoint,
Oh,
what
you
would
want
you,
come a
oh,
little
my
more?
bad. As an artist standpoint, what would you say drew your attention to sending beats to certain artists that were in the underground? Like, did you go straight for numbers or did you even try to give them a listen or how did you do that?
Yeah, well, I did start like there was a short time when I tried the numbers approach. Like I found a page where I could see that was after 7-Eleven, right? Like after Beyonce. So I thought, okay,
Huge.
I gotta get more numbers. Like I was thinking, okay, fuck, art is nice and stuff, but I really gotta get into the radio. So I found
Facts.
I found a page. I found a page, and I'm still torn to be honest. Like everybody wants to make money.
Yeah, of
Um,
course.
but I found a page where there were listings of which songs were added to radio stations, right? Like when you got a song, like you can, of course, like like you can buy spins and stuff. And I found a page where you could see the ads, like the additions, for instance, on like what is it like? Is it urban radio, rhythmic radio, and so on? So I
Right.
started hitting up those guys, but like it got stale. And there was a time when I also I tried to look at like the like hot 40, like top 40 music, and tried to take inspiration like from the beats that were hot at the time. And like speaking from that experience, it's really like you're selling yourself short. I feel, to me personally, going that route, because when you go after what you feel and what you really like. And of course, like it's like I imagine it's like, you know, it's a little corny, but I imagine like two circles, right? One circle is like what you personally like, and the other circle is what you can hopefully, you know, where it's just
Where
where
you're
there's
trying
a
to be.
market for it. No,
Right.
no, where there's a market for it, so you
Okay.
can make some money in the end. And so I'm trying to hit that overlapping shit, right? Because I can make some stuff that I like,
Mhm.
but you guys are gonna hear, and it's like I'm not gonna listen to that. So I'm trying to make something that I like
Yeah.
and that hopefully you like, and so everybody wins. And so to answer your question, I'm a little long-winded. I just go with what I like, and
Facts.
sometimes it's people that I like right from the first syllable because it's just their voice and
How
the
it sounds on the
aura,
beat.
basically
Right.
exactly how they got the, you know, the whole, you know,
The
how they carry
swag, the
themselves and stuff.
swag,
And
the
some
drip.
exactly, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's really the thing that you can't quantize.
So
It's
like,
just there or there isn't. But and sometimes, you know, it's like sometimes I listen to something and it doesn't hit me right away, but then I listen to a few bars and then it just blows me away because, you know, you can really hear that they put
that
their
it
soul into it, and
and that
that's
attention
that's
span.
yeah, and really like that authenticity. Like sometimes people like they really bleed on the track, and it's really something. Is, you know, when you're
For sure.
being honest, and I see the same thing with actors, and yeah, basically mainly with actors. Denzel Washington, I was listening to to interview of him, and he said like to him personally, acting in theater and acting in movies is the same because the truth looks the same everywhere. And I feel like that's something
Right.
you can see in his acting. Like it's fucking raw truth. And this is like to me, it's the same with rappers too. You know, it's the difference. You can tell if somebody really 100% is, you know, true. And yeah, so
Definitely.
that's
Definitely.
always
Hell of an
something that
answer.
definitely, that's really important in music because a lot of people I feel like try to fake the whole music thing. You know what I mean? They try to put on like an image and stuff. And they don't stay true to who they are. And I feel like that's really kind of like where people, you know what I mean, mess up with it. Like that's really where
yeah,
I feel like prevents people from making it because people can kind of sense authenticity.
and that can be very entertaining too. You know, if you put on an act and it's very entertaining. But that yeah, I just it's I guess it's different routes that can work and that, you
Yeah.
know, can draw attention and stuff. But like that's just something that just came to because I'm specifically thinking about this guy. He's named Michael Namir. I don't know if you know him. He's from Long Beach,
No, I'm not
and
familiar.
yeah, Michael Namir. I can send you a link there on. And like
Yeah.
he's one of those guys. Like it's insane. You just listen to him and it's like he bleeds on the track. It's like how I would say it, and it's just
Genuine.
very captivating. So genuine, so genuine. Yeah,
Right. You
yeah,
can't teach that.
Yeah, definitely send me a link. I definitely want to hear
yeah,
that. So,
yeah.
someone like you, what I kind of meant, because it's kind of interesting to hear, like, yeah, you definitely did start out on the underground, but someone like you, like, I mean, I appreciate it. I don't know if this is really just a question, it's like a compliment, but it's crazy how someone like you will work with Beyonce and then go and sing Young Ill some beats. You know what I mean? Like, I
Facts.
really, and you
That's
just kind of explained it. It's like you kind of go with what you like and stuff like that. It's just, I don't know, bro. I really like appreciate that. That's dope because there's so many producers that just won't do that. They feel like once they hit a certain level, like they're,
there's
you
no
know what I
going
mean?
back.
There's no going
Yeah, you
back and they're
can't go
not worth
lower.
certain people's time.
Oh yeah, I thought that for a little while, and then I saw that I was wrong. So
Right.
it's just yeah. I mean, what are you trying to prove? It's just and like to be complete. Like I don't have Beyonce on speed dial either, you know. So it's not like okay, I can go record 3 hours with Beyonce, or I'm gonna go fuck with some underground people. It's like,
For
Yeah.
of
sure.
course, like I'm not saying, you know, no the big placements, but like the big placements, you know, I mean,
It's
you guys
harder.
know how
Yeah.
it is. It's
Yeah.
hard, and
Yeah.
I can go to. I feel like I can go try to network with A&Rs and try to do some climbing or whatever, and try to finesse my way. Basically, is how I
Of
would say it.
course.
And you can try that. And I mean, I guess it's not either or, right? But I just like working with underground artists. You know, it's pretty straightforward, right? I look for somebody who I like. I hit them up. I send them beats, and
And nine
I
times out
guess
of
I'm
10, they're hopping on it.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
You wouldn't miss
exactly
that
what it sounds
opportunity.
like. Yep. An email like
Right.
that looks crazy, especially from somebody. I know it's I'm not too sure with how it is in Germany or in Berlin, but in Charlotte, North Carolina, it's not every day that you get those type of emails, even with the networking, because there's so many people trying to force one image. You never know which one is genuine and which one is not.
Right.
No, that's
Yeah.
definitely facts. That's
Right.
definitely facts. So when did you start making beats? Like, what got you into music?
Oh, well, I always played like in little bands and stuff. So I played the drums like very, very badly, very poorly, but I did it. And so I just started taking a liking to rap music. I listened to Limp Bizkit, like all that new metal stuff back then, and then started getting into rap music. And back then, I remember like I felt like I had to decide: do I listen to rock music, like guitar-driven music, or do I listen to rap music? Like to me back then, I
Back
had
then
to
it
make a
mattered.
decision. Yeah, I can't do both. But nah. You got to decide. So I went with rap. Was a big decision for me, and so first I did tried rapping a little bit. That was pretty horrible, and then I thought, okay, so that's not for me. So um, I might just try to make some beats, and I started out just when I was like 14 maybe or something with Music Maker, like Magic's Music Maker back then. Then I started with Fruity Loops, like when I was, I guess, 16 or so, 17. And yeah, pretty basic, I guess, like everybody.
And shit, you just kind of went from there. So how did and I feel like you get asked this a lot. So how did OG Bobby Johnson come about?
You talking about the song?
Yeah.
Same thing. Like I listened to back then. What I told you. Like I listened to mixtapes, and I tried to find good up and comers, and he had he had a few songs bubbling back then, like Q in Atlanta, and I hit him up, and that was the first song he recorded, and
Sheesh. It was history.
yeah.
That's a big part of history.
Bro, because that's
huge.
every time, because I've been like excited to talk to you, so I've been told people about this, and they all, OG Bobby Johnson. And I'm like,
Every time.
they all said that every time.
Yeah,
So it's
there was a real gift to me, like that song. That was real. Like
changed your life.
even now, like of course, yeah, and like looking back, it's like the odds. I don't know how tall the odds were really. Like be sitting here like in Germany sending out stuff, and of course I didn't only send out to Q, but like my emailing list, it wasn't that extensive, and so to catch a hit like that, or a door opener or something, like something that you guys know, it was a real. It still is like a real gift to
People
me.
are still
So
dancing to this
really,
song. Yeah, you go
Yeah.
viral every day. They're still dancing to the song on TikTok, Instagram.
Yeah.
Oh, on TikTok, really?
Everything.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Definitely.
amazing.
And then, so that was a real door opener for you. Where did you kind of go from there? Was it a lot to take in, or were you kind of ready for it? Did you immediately get other connections to send beats to? Because you went on to work with people like Beyonce, Black, Tyga, Kevin Gates, Big Sean. They can keep going. You know what I mean? Like,
Right. Yeah. Um. Yeah. I guess it was like back then. Like looking, I feel like right now, I probably feel like I have a um, more tightly knit. How can I say? Like back then, like I remember, I placed this thing and it started, going up and stuff. And I felt like I don't even have the, sometimes like you have producers coming up, and you see the name bubbling, right? And so something explodes, but they already have the base, right? They have the collaborators, they had it basically coming, right? So
Right.
when it happens, they got everything set in place. They got all the people they're working with, and everything has warmed up over a while.
It's like
And
a
to me, it
system.
was like, yeah, like a system, and also like there's something to back it up. Like so they got the people who they're working with, so they can basically follow it up. To me, it was basically, it's not like I'm complaining, but it was basically almost like out of the blue, right? So I had, like a bunch of people I was emailing and stuff, and my managers, like who were also the managers of Q at the time, they picked me up. I'm working with them till now, and so of course, like they've been helping, but like to me, my personal connections, they were not so many back then, and I started building and stuff, and that's how basically the other stuff you just mentioned came about. But yeah, there was like a little bit of a thing to get that thing rolling first, and so yeah, I don't know if that answers your question. Yeah, it took time, and basically Ojo Johnson was a little, how can I say, yeah, like I said, like some people, it's like, to me it pretty much was out of the blue, and then after the fact I had to use that and build what for other people is already there before the hit, and like to me, like I had to build it after the fact, basically. Yeah,
that's good. And I got one question: what is the music scene like where you're at? How was it taken when you blew up? Like, was it a big thing, or did everybody have to catch on through their own way of word of ear or word of mouth?
I feel like I'm pretty, like I've been pretty low key in Germany. Like I did work with some people before Bobby Johnson and stuff. But I'm not like, I probably could do more too. But I feel like I'm very low key in Germany. Have been pretty low key. Like some media outlets did some reports and stuff, but like I'd say, like I've been recognized in LA one or two times, or in Atlanta, but over here it's basically, I'd say like I'm pretty low key over here. That's
okay. You enjoy that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know it any else. So sometimes you think like it comes with benefits, but I think like I'm one of those guys. If I would be more known or so, I guess I mean I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I feel like I'd appreciate being low key. You know what I mean, with all the success and stuff like that. I feel like
I would live in Germany over the United States right about now.
Yeah, I hear you.
Definitely.
I hear you.
So was that kind of like your first label situation, or kind of like your first major label situation?
My first, yeah, I was talking to some A&Rs before that, but the first time I got basically in contact with labels on a more serious note, yeah.
And I'm just curious, for a lot of other producers, what advice do you have for them? What's that like, going into a label situation? Because I've never been in it. I know a lot of producers that haven't been in it. So what's that kind of like? Do they try to like take advantage of you at all? Because you hear stories a lot of producers get taken advantage of and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I was wondering if you had advice for that.
I mean, even with Kanye right now, right, tweeting all that stuff, and I've been thinking about it too, because it's definitely difficult. Like if you, and I'm not the most experienced guy ever, right? So I don't even know, but this is just my thoughts, like my gut feeling on it is like, just try to know what you're getting into. And sometimes like after the fact, so let's just say you sign with a label, right? Mm-hmm. And so if you're unknown, right, you're broke. And so they give you a contract, even if you know like this contract, it's not the best contract in the world, but you're like, man, I'm broke, I want to get famous too. And so you sign the shit, right? And so later on down the line, let's just say everything works out, right? You got money, you're famous, and now like now you don't like the label anymore because they own the masters and stuff. But it's just like you signed up for it, and okay, now of course, yeah, you were okay with it. Now after the fact, now that you got the money in your account and you are famous, and now you're feeling a certain way about the contract, right? And I do get it, because this is how we are, human nature, I guess. But and I don't even know if this is an answer, but like definitely don't sign your life away, anything, know what you're getting into, and Yeah, it's difficult. Like, don't try to make short-sighted decision, but I don't know if I have the most new advice like on this topic.
No, that's
Mm.
perfect.
Yeah, that's perfect. I just wanted to see your view on it.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Everybody can kind of take
yeah.
away what they can
Like
take
some
away from that.
like trust your common sense. Like sometimes they're really like shady situations. It's like when like a guy comes over and he's really pressed to sign you into something
Quick.
low, yeah, like quick, and he's really pushy and stuff, and it's like trust your common sense. Like don't cross your fingers and okay, maybe let this be it. It's probably not going to be it. It's probably going to be a bad decision. You might regret it down the road. So try to put the work in, and yeah, I don't know. This is all like beaten up advice, but there's no shortcuts. Like
Yeah,
and
it's a grind.
That's the
But
truth.
now that you know what it's kind of like and you have a little bit more experience when it comes to these label situations,
yeah.
how do you negotiate royalties for yourself now that you have, you know what I mean, more experience? And is it better, because I've heard a lot of producers different opinions on this, is it better to take those royalties more or less up front, or is it better to take a bigger advance up front?
Well, I basically don't do the negotiating. I let my managers do that, and that is like every time. And I got some
Fair.
books and stuff in publishing too. And first, to answer your questions, like I'm trying to not get the biggest advance in the world. I'm trying to put it on the back end.
Mm-hmm.
And but in general, like I try to look like I'm not looking at it like, okay, I got this big hit now and I'm trying to milk everything out of it that I can, which would be also like an understandable and like a plausible stance because these are major labels you're dealing with, right? These are big corporations backed by conglomerates, right? Like it's so big money, behind that. So why would you not take everything you can, right?
Exactly. I hear that.
So yeah, so that is definitely a plausible stance, but you can also have the stance like, okay, let me just be the guy, that's easy to do business with because at the end of the day, we are dealing with people, and I'm not dealing with Mr. Vivendi, but I'm dealing with some A&R. Somebody's okaying this deal, and so I'm looking at it. Let me do this one. Let me be, easy to work with. Let's not make a big fuss. Let's not drag this on because this can happen too. Like from my experience, like if you got like 8 lawyers, around the table and everybody's fighting for, a few percentage points, the shit might sail, and the window of opportunity might close, and the artist might say, or the label might say, this is getting too complicated. Let's just go with this song. And again, like I'm not the most experienced, guy over here, but this is something that I've experienced, and so basically just try to keep it moving, and also, and this is all, I feel like you got to balance all this out. I personally feel like I can get like sometimes I can get too much into the business side. I got to remind myself, why am I into this? Why am I doing this? And of course, we all try to make money, and nobody likes to be, fucked over and taken advantage of. But at the end of the day, like I'm trying to make great music, and before I'm over here sitting about thinking about the business stuff, and like the intricacies of the business side, let me think about how I can make my music better, right?
That's
And
Perfect. That's
brilliant.
facts.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's,
yeah,
I feel like a lot of people do get, you know what I mean, lost in
And egos.
egos and everything like that. And that's why, like, it goes back to what I was saying. Like, I still love the fact that you're like that and you will work with Beyonce and then go back and send someone like Young Ill Beats. Like, I
right,
still
yeah.
definitely, you know what I mean, greatly appreciate that.